Something I'm a bit obsessed about is trying to piece together the levels of Half-Life Alyx from what we've been shown already. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything because I'll only be talking about stuff that Valve has already given us. So let's go. Half-Life has to start with a train sequence. It always has. So Alyx starts on a train, which will move in a straight line to limit nausea. Then after she gets off, she'll walk around City 17 as part of a gentle tutorial stage, similar to that bit at the beginning of Half-Life 2, only in VR. She'll get to play on the swings and to feel the repressive nature of the Combine presence. She does something to upset them, and this happens. We can see in this early screenshot that Alyx has normal hands without all the stuff attached to them, so maybe this is from the very first chapter of the game, before she even gets a weapon, which is why she's surrendering instead of shooting them. Somehow she meets this guy, who you might think is Australian, but according to the YouTube comment section, he's from New Zealand, and there's like totally a big difference between these things. He has managed to evade detection by dressing up like the Combine. That sounds familiar. And soon he takes you away to his lab to share with you his plan to take down the Combine. There's just one small issue with this, and it's that there are big creeping walls in the way. He tells her that the only way to get past this is by going underneath it, by using the train tunnels to get there. There is the small problem of it being infested with aliens, but don't worry, because he'll be with her every step of the way. Over the radio, of course. He then sends her off to save the world, but then remembers he's forgotten to give her a weapon, and almost kills her in this sequence. She then heads off to the train station again because she loves trains just as much as Valve do. And this second chapter, which we can see from the pause menu here, begins. The other big giveaway is how much guidance she's given over the radio as she learns the basics like how to stab herself with this thing, and how to stab herself with this thing, and so on. Also, at this point she's screaming and questioning everything she sees, and if I'm honest, that's going to get real old real fast. We didn't have this problem with Gordon. I'll let her do it for the first proper chapter or so, but if she carries on like this for much longer, then it's going to start to annoy me. Imagine if in speedruns, Alyx screams in terror at a headcrab as she shoots past it 100 miles an hour, or asking if her needles for injecting herself with, while in her other hand she's clutching a chair that's angrily vibrating before it violently glitches out, launching her over a 3-story high wall. Early monsters include these zombies, and these barnacle creatures. Look, there's a whole family of them here. How cute. She murders them all and moves on. You can see near the end of the IGN trailer that it gets more alien-y as she enters a zone that's infested with alien stuff. There's a cliffhanger where the player gets attacked by a headcrab, but clearly it doesn't get the player because it bounces off this thing and probably flops pathetically off the right hand side of the screen instead. I believe the laundrette bit we saw in the first trailer takes place just after this. She then has to fight her way up through this building to reach the surface again, which will take us onto the second gameplay video. I'm assuming these are set in similar locations because the same tiles on the walls are used, the same alien stuff is everywhere, and you can see a lot of dirty linen just below her here. And the fact that she's heading upwards implies she's already been down below. Where she goes next is a bit of a mystery, but I expect when she's not trying to save her dad from being captured, again, she's trying to shut down these weird electrical things that are powering this floaty ship, which I think is this game's equivalent of the Citadel from Half-Life 2, which is also in this game. I get the feeling that the third gameplay video is a little bit later on in the game. It just seems like the guns she's using and the enemies she's facing are more advanced. Plus, the sun's almost setting. She appears to be fighting her way into this building, which it looks like leads to these walkways. I feel this is the case because in this scene from the original trailer, the sun has just set, and this building has the same windows as you can see from this third gameplay video. I'm aware that they could just be reusing the same assets over and over again and that the whole game is set in similar looking warehouses, but I don't think they do that. I expect there are many places we haven't seen yet, and many creatures and enemies that they're deliberately keeping a secret. Because otherwise it would be boring, wouldn't it? And then all of the scenes at night look like they're deep inside Combine territory, beyond the Combine wall. And it looks like it's got a bad case of the antlions, making it a three-way fight between Alyx, the Combine, and the aliens. In Half-Life 2 you got this bug bait item which let you control them. Wherever you tossed these things, they'd rush off too. It was my favourite bit of the game, and it would be a real shame if you don't get the bug bait again, because that thing made the most satisfying sounds that I've ever heard. Imagine being able to lob these things about in VR. Imagine squeezing them. Game of the year guaranteed right there. Many of you won't have sat around waiting for Half-Life 2 to be released, but I did. I memorised all of the teaser videos and where they were set. You might think that doing this will make it less fun when you reach those places in person, but I disagree. I love to speculate and to debate. It's like how talking to friends all day about a movie you're about to see makes it more exciting than just randomly going along with them to see it. It hypes you up, it gets you thinking of the possibilities, and it starts painting those places with memories before you even get there in person. I have no regrets with how I approached Half-Life 2, and if anything, was more surprised because of how those places deviated from my expectations. No matter how much you prepare, no matter how many times you re-watch those trailers, it's always different when you finally set foot there yourself. I hope you've liked this video of wild speculation and assumptions. I'm sure there will be more.